Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to each and every single one of you here. Let me go ahead and make sure I have my crispy audio. Please forgive me. I do understand that I'm wearing the exact same outfit as yesterday afternoon's stream, but I don't care. I do not care, ladies and gentlemen. I had to rush home from my workout. I had to cut it short because I was scrolling through Twitter just sporadically in between sets, and I saw that James Cook, RB1 for the Buffalo Bills, has indeed agreed to terms to stay for yet another 4 years. Per agent Zach Hiller, per Adam Schefter. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to double check this over and over again. I had to make sure that this was the actual Adam Schefter account. I had to make sure that this was not one of those dummy accounts, folks, but it is indeed factual. As we speak, James Cook has just agreed to a 4-year, $48 million contract extension. Now, what we need to do is we need to look at what exactly that AAV is looking like. I can tell you what, so I'm no mathematician, but I can tell you $48 million. That's about $12 million per year AAV. And once you end up getting more into the specifics, here we go. We can pull this up. Adam Schefter. James Cook is signing a 4-year, $48 million extension that includes $30 million guaranteed. I got to tell you what. While we are all still patiently waiting for the specifics of this contract to come out, I have a funny feeling. I have a really funny feeling that for the 4-year extension, and that does not include this year. So we basically have James Cook for all of 2025, and it's going to expire at the end of the 2029 season. So the 4-year extension, again, begins next year. I'm willing to bet. I am willing to bet right before these contract details come out that $30 million fully guaranteed is a part of how the contract is structured, where it's only 2 years, basically, where the Buffalo Bills ultimately end up getting an out after 3 years down the road or after the first 2 years of said extension. That ultimately, in his mind, would equal $15 million per year. And then perhaps if Buffalo wanted to walk away, then he could ultimately end up going out and attempting to find greener pastures about midway through the extension. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming Brandon Beane did. Again, we still don't know these specifics. I'm going to be watching Spot Track like an absolute hawk. I can tell you this. But, I mean, chat, let me know your thoughts. $48 million, $30 million guaranteed. That's about a $12 million extension. Not bad in the grand scheme of things. Everybody that is coming in, what is going on? Hit that thumbs up sign. Let's celebrate because the drama is all but over. All right. The James Cook situation, the James Cook contract conversation is now over. And I got to tell you, how did we not see this coming? Of course, I thought for the longest time that what Buffalo was going to do was just make him ride it out. But now it appears that him suiting up for the preseason game, him suiting up and actually practicing yesterday had a hell of a lot more to do with the fact that James Cook was so close to the finish line that he said, you know what, screw it. Let me go out and let me ball. Big baller Beane, man. Brandon Beane did it again. Brandon Beane did it again. How many times do we need to question this guy? Because each and every single year, I feel like we look at a laundry list of pending free agents or players that are due an extension. And we always look at that lineup and we say, there's no way in hell that Beane is going to be able to extend each and every single player. We saw a list of players like Christian Benford. Same thing with Terrell Bernard. We saw Khalil Shakir. We're saying, dude, no way. No way. And plus adding Josh Allen onto this as well. We saw that list and we said, dude, there's no way that Brandon Beane will be able to bring all of these guys back. We're going to have to make a sacrifice. Who is going to be the sacrificial lamb? And what I can tell you is all of them are back. This is indeed a culture. This is a good this is what a good football organization looks like, folks. This is what a good football organization down to its first molecule of DNA looks like. Drafting well, keeping your guys, And I got to tell you, with all the optimism that I've been seeing with this draft class already this year in training camp, things are good. Things are good. Folks, I'm going to have to go on ahead and I'm going to have to open up the Garage Beer hotline here in about, I don't know, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes. I know a lot of you are probably feeling a bit perplexed. Some of you maybe are not happy with this deal. Maybe some of you are absolutely ecstatic. I want to hear from you, right? Like that is what I build this channel off of, is engaging with you guys and understanding what is going through your mind. So as we are coming in, let's celebrate, folks. Hit that thumbs up sign as you are coming in. And you know what? Roll call in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I'm always curious to see how far Bills Mafia truly extends, folks. Roll call. Do not be shy. I am including the lurkers in the building. While I wait for this roll call, I do need to give a giant shout out to our proud partner today. That is William Mattar. Folks, if you were ever hurt in a car, you better call William Mattar. #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. I wouldn't wish a car accident on anybody, but say that it does happen to you, you have to make sure that you have the appropriate representation in your corner. Shout out to William Mattar for being a proud partner of said channel. And let's get back into this James Cook talk. Guys, again, do not be lurkers. Let me know. Let me know, man. What is going on? Where are you tuning in from? DC area is in the building. Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Brooklyn, New York is in the building. Washington, D.C. is in the building. It didn't pop up on my feed. Look at that. Both was already early. Rochester, New York is in the building. Lee Valley, Pennsylvania. Wesley Chapel, Florida. Richmond, Virginia is in the building. Queensland, Australia. 30 million is a big guarantee. The most guaranteed money in the past 5 years for a running back. I mean, look, we have to give all the credit in the world to James Cook's agent because he was able to really finesse this team. I can tell you what. Serbia is in the building. Rochester, New York is in the building. It's not my money. Let's go from Houston. That's the way to look at it, Day Trooper. That is the way to look at it. Some people that might be upset about this, like you would think that they would, that this contract was coming out of their pocket. Cook got fair market value. I don't think his signing will tilt the running back market. No, not at all. Not at all. South Carolina is in the building. Portland, Oregon is in the building. Orlando, Florida. New York. Statesville, North Carolina. Matt, what is going on, man? Hope all is well. Savannah, Georgia. Do not be shy, lurkers. Let me know. I got to turn this ring light off because it is bright. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Damn, baby. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is in the building. Charlotte, North Carolina. Idaho is in the building. Rock Hill, South Carolina. We have a very early show this morning, guys. But hey, it is indeed the James Cook hour. James Cook ultimately ended up signing his extension. If you were just joining, $48 million includes $30 million guaranteed. Damn. Things are looking incredible. Levi, Batavia, New York, riding the work van, Atlanta, Georgia. It's nobody's money. Clarence working right now, happy about the signing. Oh, man, we have United saying, so happy we locked him down. He's going to have a better season than last year. Now, he has that sense of security. I'm so happy for the young man. I really, really am. Alex Dothan, Alabama is in the building. Alex, what's going on, man? How you doing? Durhamville, New York. St. Louis is in the building. Salt Lake City, Utah. Pineville, Louisiana. I will tell you what, it is crazy how far this audience and how far Bills Mafia truly extends across the hemisphere, baby. All the hemispheres. Here we are. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to open up the Garage Beer hotline for anybody that is interested. What I typically do for each and every single stream is I like to talk to Bills Mafia. If anybody has anything on their mind, and keep in mind, I do treat this like a radio station. So I typically keep you on for about 20 to 30 seconds. I hear what you have to say, whether or not that it's a statement, whether or not that it's a question, I boot you off, and then we continue. It is a really cool way of being able to engage with you guys, because without you, what would this channel be exactly? So here's the call-in line, folks. Feel free to hop on in, chime in, and let's have a conversation on this beautiful Wednesday morning, August 13th. Man, this is a beautiful thing. As per Chris Berman, Buffalo Bills, the one and only America's team. Listen, man, Chris Berman, he continuously preaches the gospel, right? And I got to tell you what, man, most Bills fans should be absolutely ecstatic for what we just saw. And a big piece of credit given to the general manager of this team for somehow ultimately ended up bringing back all of the important pieces to this team. I don't mind the dollar amount. It's a lot of guaranteed, but you've got running backs coming in who haven't done shit, getting 30 plus million guaranteed on their contracts if they are first rounders, for sure. So I feel like that's a way to look at it. And what I feel like I can do, in case you guys are interested to where he stands, let's go to spot track running back contracts, because now I'm curious to see where he stands. I do know that he has had the most guaranteed money in the past 5 years, which is at about 30 million bucks. But really, we're looking at an AAV that is around $12 million per. And folks, what's good about this is that it's more than likely going to generate immediate capital for us as well. So where we were at 32nd ranked in the league, I'm sure that we are, but say that I'm a gambling man, more than likely his $5 million cap hit this year is probably transitioned closer to around 2. So that's probably saving us a little bit of cash. It's giving us more room to run with. But here he is. So I am going to go on ahead and I am going to pull this up. And let's take a look at what these contracts are looking like, right? So as far as 48 million, so we have James Cook signed a $48 million contract extension, right? As far as guarantee at signing, he has 12. Saquon Barkley was at 36 at signing. Okay, so not quite Saquon Barkley numbers. Yeah, Josh at 48. Yeah, James Cook. Okay. Now I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like. His estimate, his base is 5.2, 5.2. We still have no idea what this is going to sort of look like, right? So how we're looking at all of this right now, more than likely this base salary or the status estimate is going to be closer to around 1. And then, guys, I am willing to bet that after the 2027 season, the Buffalo Bills are likely going to have an out rate on this contract. That's kind of what this contract is telling me, because 30 million bucks sort of gives him the illusion that he's making 15 million per year. Say that Buffalo elects not to move forward after the 2028 season, then we can walk away with a very limited cap implication. That's what that $30 million guaranteed at signing is telling me. But anyway, let's go on ahead and welcome in our first caller of the day on the Garage Beer Hotline. Chris Woods, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm good. I fucking thank God we signed him because I thought I was cursed.
And so why is that?
I got a signed Gabe Davis jersey. Then I got a signed Stephon Diggs jersey. They both leave. I get a signed James Cook jersey last year.
Yeah.
So
So I got to
I
tell you
was.
what, man, I refuse to buy any Bills jersey that's not named, of course, with Allen, and then really
They
any
were
of the
gifts. They
greats.
were gifts.
Okay, perfect. I
So
totally get that, but like it's definitely tough because I also share that same curse. But look, man, like we were having this conversation all off season. He wanted $15 million per year. A lot of us were just like, nah, there's no way that like we can give him Saquon Barkley numbers. What do you think about this contract as far as specs? About
so
12 million per year, 30 million guaranteed. Is this a good deal?
yeah. So I was right in the same camp of I was not cool with the 15 million a year. I like
Yeah.
the way it's structured right now. Just
Yeah.
in the fact that it's structured like 12 a year, but you can get out of it for 15 a year if you have to. Hopefully we
Yeah.
don't have to, but
Yeah, man. Look, just because you have an out on a contract doesn't necessarily mean that it will be exercised. But while the specifics aren't out, that $30 million guaranteed, I'm willing to bet a sizable amount of dough that more than likely it's only the first 2 years, and then we could potentially walk away with limited cap implications. So I think that this is a pretty solid deal, but I really hope this guy takes his contract and runs with it, and we see a much crazier season from him right in 2025.
yeah, it just tells me we're going for it the next 2 years for sure. So,
Have to, man. You sound like you're driving right now.
oh yeah, Charlotte to Raleigh work trip.
The work trip, man. Dude, well, hey, listen, safe travels out there. So I appreciate you right down in Buffalo South, Charlotte, North Carolina, man. Shout out to Chris Woods. And so I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for calling in. Thanks, man. Shout out to Chris, man. Chris, have no fear. Several of us feel like we are cursed for buying signed memorabilia. And then just a year or two later, that player ends up walking away. But it sounds like we are at least locked down with James Cook for the next 3 years, at least. Technically 5. But here we are. Guys, feel free. The Garage Beer Tasting Beer, best beer on the face of the planet hotline, is live. So say, for example, you have something that is on your mind. Maybe I want to hear from somebody that's pissed off about this contract. Maybe I want to hear from somebody that feels the entire opposite way of how I'm feeling, of how maybe several people in this chat are feeling already. Don't be shy, folks. Do not be shy. We're going to be rocking, I would say, for about another hour, really unpacking this conversation amongst other storylines surrounding our favorite team. Normally, so I am live on this channel Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST. Obviously, I had to rush home and I had to come early, but here we are. Ramsey is on the Garage Beer Hotline. What's going on, Ramsey?
What's going on? What's going on, man? You hear me clearly, Dan?
Oh yeah, man, loud and clear. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. I've been following you for a while, man. I'm just gonna come out and say I like the running back room, and I just want to keep the emphasis on the running backs, man. I want to make sure that Davis gets a good look. He didn't look good the last game, and I want to make sure that even Gore Jr. gets a good look. The next 2 years means he's RB1. Cool.
Yeah.
You RB1. Cool with that. Hold that. But I want to see that pass blocking, bro. I need to see that pass blocking. Now I seen that last game and I was shocked because I saw that Gore Jr. did a hell of a job pass blocking. I didn't see him in him. I didn't see that coming. I saw a good block coming out of him, and I'm like, all right. And then Davis didn't really have a great game, but he did get that extra field goal. And we mentioned that. I text that to you. You brought it out, but let's just see what happens.
Dude, like with Frank Gore Jr., man, for his size, like he's 5'9", like on paper. I think he's shorter, but how he pass blocks is absolutely insane. I was not anticipating that from him for the past 2 seasons. I'm curious to see like who they run with. It's looking like it's probably going to be James Cook, then Ray Davis, obviously, and probably Ty Johnson. And then normally we squeeze in Reggie Gilliam, who is often forgotten about on this roster.
A delight surprise. Did you see that catch?
For sure.
That was nice. I didn't know the big boy had it in him, but I want to see some more, plays come out for him. Let's see what they got. But other than that, the fullback gets some love too. So, let's get it cracking.
For sure. So what do you think about the specs of this contract, right? Because I would say this conversation has been so polarizing amongst the fan base. Like some were just like, no, there's no way we could pay him Saquon Barkley money. Was this a fair deal for you? Or would you say it was a bit of an overpay and underpay? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
I respected his average because he's getting paid $12 million, but then, if it's out, you get paid $15 million a year.
Yeah.
So basically, I respect it because he made it. He was at the top of the line for running backs last year. So well respected.
Yeah.
Respect deserved. So, but if something goes wrong, you twist an ankle and Davis is looking good, play the hot hand. That's what I think happened in the last playoff game. Like they didn't play enough of Cook. He was gassed, but he was the only one making moves. Ty shouldn't have been in that game. They was mixing them up too much. You got to play the high hand with the running backs. If the running back, if we got a high hand running back, let him roll. When we played the Jets, he wasn't there, but the backs were fine. The backs were fine. So whoever's in control of the running back's hot hand, you got to play the hot hand running back. That's all you got to do in Buffalo. The depth is fine.
And so I totally agree. I really hope that James is not given more carries just because of this contract too. Like you just said, if Ray Davis looking hot, Ty Johnson's having a good game, keep feeding what helps us win this ball game. Like
everybody
that's my thought. Exactly.
Everybody eats.
Exactly.
Thanks, man. Thanks for answering. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, well, hey, Ramsey, listen, man, you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and feel free to call in anytime. That's my boy Ramsey in here, man. He's happy about it, but he came in and he was saying, no matter what, all right, we have to continue with that everybody eats mentality. We have to make sure that the DNA of this offense does not change, even though that we saw our good friend James Cook sign a pretty massive extension. Congratulations to James Cook. Let's welcome in our next caller, Jeff M. on the Garage Beer Hotline. Jeff, how you doing, man? What's up?
Hey, man. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well.
Oh, man, I'm living the dream. I had to cut my lift short this morning, rush home, and talk to my people. But really, outside of that, I'm doing good. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, that's funny. I had to cut off my gym session for the same exact reason. I was literally looking up at the TV and saw it myself.
Yeah.
I'm happy about the contract signing. A lot of people hate it. To be honest, man, we have the 3 best down backs in the NFL, and I'll say that very confidently. I think solidifying a speedster and somebody who actually is able to open up the gap and shoot versus, blockers like Ray Davis or somebody who's versatile with catching like James Cook. I think the money's right. It makes sense that, what is that, $13-12 million per year is what it is. Average. Yeah, I'm happy we didn't meet at the 15. I'm just happy the drama's over with, brother. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. One thing I will say about Hard Knocks, and I'm not sure whether or not that you picked up the exact same thing. I feel like one of the producers has to be a Bills fan because they could have absolutely torched us on Hard Knocks with this James Cook situation. And they barely touched on it last night. Barely.
Yeah, I actually did watch the episode, and I was kind of anticipating that there was going to be something related to this that maybe would have helped spread fire for James Cook to push a little bit more of the contract. But no, I'm on the same fence as you. I think somebody in the background was pulling some strings to stop that from happening.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We know that Brandon Beane has that run like a well-oiled machine. But it's great about the contract because, again, it at least looks to James Cook that it is $15 million a year. Again, we haven't seen all the specifics of the deal yet, but for some reason, that $30 million fully guaranteed to me is screaming that we are really only going to be tied in for the first 2 years of this extension, and we would potentially have an out at the conclusion of the 2027 year. So this makes James happy, but it also ends up giving an insurance policy for Buffalo. Say, for example, he starts to show some type of regression. I highly doubt it, but still. So you and I are on the exact same page. I am feeling very comfortable about this.
Yeah, I'm fairly comfortable with the entire pick. I guess my only negative side here is I'm staring at the safety position, and that's a giant question mark for me. And I'm going to be honest with you, it scares the shit out of me. I don't know your thoughts.
Yeah. With the safety position, man, we heard from McDermott. It sounds like he's very frustrated that Cole has been injured, especially for the past 2 training camps now in a row. It sounds like he's not where he wants him to be. So say that I'm a gambling man. I really think by week 1, it's probably going to be DeMar Hamlin. Like, not unless Cole Bishop is fully healthy, no setbacks whatsoever, and he balls out right within the next 2 preseason games. That's just something I feel like Sean McDermott is going to do. What's helpful is now that NFL offenses really aren't that air raid attack like they were 4 to 5 years ago. It's mostly run the ball first. It's mostly short passes, yards after the catch. I really don't think that we need to be that nervous because maybe we'll see at absolute tops 1 to 2 deep balls downfield per game. So it's limiting sort of our weakness, but I'd say don't sleep on Taylor Rapp. He's pretty solid when it comes into coverage, and a lot of quarterbacks stay away from the safety tandem as long as Taylor Rapp is out on the field. But can he stay healthy? That is the question. But yes, you and I probably have the same mindset when it comes into the biggest weakness of this team. It's definitely safety.
Yeah, I have full confidence in Taylor Rapp. It's the it's the rest of the crew that it's like the same year repeats itself every single time we end up with Kansas City as what we're dealing with in the championship, and then it comes down to a pass and getting bullied in the secondary. So hopefully that turns around. Hey, brother, I'll let somebody else come into the garage. I'll get out of here. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
It's appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much. By the way, my boy Jeff just called the hotline the garage. I love that. Step into the garage, baby. The Garage Beer Hotline. Who's next? Who's next in the garage, man? My boy Drew is in the building. Happy Wednesday. Happy James Cook Extension Day, Drew. What's going on?
Yeah, happy James Cook Extension Day. I have been refreshing my social media for the last 4 days waiting for this to happen. It was starting to give me gray hairs in my beard. My receding hairline was going back. I'm just happy we got him. My whole thing is if we paid him under 13 million a year on an annual basis, then we have a win. He's
Yeah.
a top 8, top 7 running back. There's no real arguing that. And with the plethora of running backs coming through, that number is going to jump in the next 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's each and every single position group, right? A few years back when we saw Patrick Surtain get signed as the highest paid cornerback, and people were like, oh my God, like that's expensive. But literally 3 months later, we saw 4 or 5 more guys completely destroy that. Same exact thing with that first Patrick Mahomes contract that happened 4 to 5 years ago. I can guarantee you in 2 years, like once we see Gibbs get extended, once we see Bijan Robinson get extended next offseason, we're going to be looking at this James Cook deal and we're going to be like, I mean, whatever, dude, thank God we signed him when we did. It's the exact same thing for every position group, and running back is no different.
Yeah, and that was my thing. And you kind of touched on it for a hot minute, and I'll jump off. You said about, there's people in Bills Mafia that aren't too like happy or giddy about this. And that's what was my argument every time I talked to any of them. It's 2 years, he's still a viable running back in the prime. We have to pay him or he has to go bye-bye. And then Ray Davis isn't much far behind him anyway. So we're just kicking the can down the road looking for talent when we already have it. It was smart to just sign him now.
Exactly. And so I totally agree with, man. Where are you located, dude? In Buffalo?
No, I'm in central Pennsylvania. I've been a Bills fan since, Scott Norwood missed that field goal wide right against the Giants, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, bro. Yeah. You're breaking my heart this Wednesday morning already, just bringing up that PTSD thing. Well, let me tell you what, Drew, I appreciate you stepping into the garage, my friend. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thanks for answering.
That's my guy. Drew, the man, dude. Latest guy in the garage beer hotline, man. We have people ready to talk a little ball backstage. All right, guys, as you are coming in, please do me a favor. Make sure you hit that thumbs up sign. It's the easiest way to show a little bit of love over on this channel. What I want to do is build the largest live chat community on the internet. I genuinely believe that we have a family over here that just loves talking football. So make sure that you hit that thumbs up sign. Let's continue to grow this community. I'm live twice a day, Monday through Friday. And I promise I will always be here for you, breaking down all of the latest and breaking news surrounding our favorite team. Next man up in the garage, John Edward. John, what's going on, man?
What up, Dan?
Man, I'm living the dream, my friend. How you doing?
Good. That was great news to wake up to this morning. I was like getting ready to go to work.
Yeah.
And getting all my stuff together, and I saw that we signed James Cook, and I'm like, well, that was great to hear. And obviously there was a reason why he left. Not left practice. He rejoined practice yesterday because, like you said yesterday, there's probably a reason why he rejoined practice. Because like if you come back to practice, we'll take care of you.
So I had a gut feeling, right? Because I had his agent on, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was the same one that represented Shamar Stewart from Cincinnati. And I didn't particularly buy that he was completely suited up and had pads on and just accepted the fact that he wasn't getting paid, because that's not particularly the MO from Zach Hiller. I'm almost convinced that Zach probably would have continued that hold in, maybe would have played 6 games to accrue a full season and then had back tightness for the rest of the year so that he could get his contract after the fact. So as soon as when I saw him, like, with that cap right on his helmet and running drills yesterday in practice, I had a gut feeling something was up. But I'm happy.
Yeah, me too. And he is like Brandon Beane's taking care of everybody. I mean, he's taking care of Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir, Christian Benford, James Cook, and I'm probably forgetting somebody.
Yeah.
But that draft class, he's pretty much, because I wasn't Cook and Benford and Shakir the same class, or am I?
Yeah, dude. That class, I would say, is probably one of the most slept on from Brandon Beane. It just has a giant stain on it because the first round pick was Kyrie Elam. But that was by and large probably the best draft class out of his career.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. And you think he probably won't? Are you thinking the starters won't play much the rest of the preseason? Like what?
Man, so it's tough to say. So I could see some of the new
The new
free
faces.
agent acquisitions. Same
Palmer,
thing with
Moore.
Palmer, and so Elijah Moore. Probably could see them. Some of our offensive line. I'd be shocked if Josh Allen had
There's no
any reps.
reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason to play Josh. I mean, he doesn't
No.
need to be. He'll get his reps in practice, and there's no reason to put him out there even for 1 to 2 series because you always run the risk of.
Yeah. Third preseason game, maybe we might see him for a drive. But as far as starters on Sunday night, I'm really just going into it that say that we do see some starters. It's probably going to be for a drive, maybe 2, and it's mostly going to be a focus on the trenches and some of our new free agent acquisitions.
And maybe the back. You think people? Let me ask you this before I get off. You think more people are making a bigger deal about the quote competition for the backup quarterback job because there's not just much competition, or is this like a real thing?
So I think the debate goes there more so on what it does to the cap, right? It's not so much like what is Buffalo going to be better off with either Mike White or Mitchell Trubisky as QB2. It's more like, can Mike White be better than Mitchell Trubisky so we can add an additional $2 million in potential spend? Because I think that we can all agree that if Josh Allen were to miss 5 to 6 games, so our season's a wash. It's screwed. It doesn't matter if it's Mike White. It doesn't matter if it's Mitchell Trubisky. It's not so much about who's the better option. It's more so about okay, can Mike White be somewhat serviceable so we can walk away from Mitchell Trubisky and save a little cash in case we need something toward the trade deadline? That's where I think it's coming from.
One more. How much is Mitch making?
Right now, Mitchell Trubisky has a $3.2 million cap hit, and that's compared to Mike White, who ultimately has a 1.1.
Okay, so like half.
So half, yeah.
So yeah,
and,
hey, I'll let you go, but I do really enjoy the college football show, and y'all touching on South Carolina the other day because
my God.
Look, I've been telling people I'm as high on this my college team as anybody. But then,
South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, us coming at 13 the other day and 8 people. That's good and all. You do gotta, go out there and prove, it's all in front of you. You just can't. Yeah. I do expect us to win our first 5 games before we go to LSU. But you still got to go out there and, we got Virginia Tech in Atlanta in a couple of weeks. South Carolina State at home. I know, South Carolina State, which I'll be at. My mom's actually going to go with me. And then host Vandy. Vandy's Vandy. I don't care what people say.
I fucking hate Vandy, dude.
Kentucky, and am I missing somebody? Oh, Missouri, I think, is in there somewhere.
I'll tell you what, man. Shout out to the Gamecocks. I'm actually really high on South Carolina this year, and that's even coming from a Georgia fan.
It's a little weird not playing y'all every year just because I get it with the whole realignment thing, and I do want to touch on Beamer real quick if you don't mind.
Sure.
When we fired Muschamp, thank goodness we did that because I was going nowhere. And I was actually telling someone, I'm like, I kind of came out and talking like we need to fire him because it's not going anywhere. It was getting worse, Dan. You weren't going anywhere. And someone asked me like, who are you getting hired that's better? I'm like, you can't do any worse. Yeah. And then the names that we've thrown around when we were hiring Beamer were like Jimmy Chadwell. He was at Coastal Carolina at the time. Billy Napier, Louisiana, and a couple other guys. And then Beamer's name was thrown in the hat. And I'm like, you know what? I'd be down with Beamer because he was there under Steve Spurrier and helped recruit some of the best players we've ever had. And we hired Beamer. I'm like, you know what? It's not always about the flashy hire, like the big name. It's about what fits your program, and I feel like Shane Beamer fits us perfectly.
So I'll tell you what, man. My buddy Clay, he's a big Gamecocks guy as well. But John, listen, we appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thank you so much for everything. The latest guy in the garage, John Edward, in here, and he was discussing a show that just ultimately ended up dropping on the Roundtable Sports Network. I host a college football show, folks. If you are a college football fan, then I highly recommend you go check that out. That is linked in the description. All right, so definitely hop on. It's Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. But let's talk a little James Cook. All right, let's talk a little James Cook. DTN is in the building. DTN, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. I just woke up, and the one thing I saw on Instagram, I was just doing my usual scouring on Instagram, is I saw the James Cook announcement, and then when I looked at all the contracts, I even got to watch a little bit of Buffalo Fanatics to hear like the whole entire details of the James Cook contract. And I gotta say,
shout out to my boy Z-Bot.
I don't understand why people are complaining about the deal that you guys give for James Cook, because I feel like James Cook is a whole better player than his brother Dalvin Cook. And given the fact that I feel like I would definitely give him $12 million. 4 years, I don't
It's
know.
a good deal.
Yeah, it is a really good deal. I'm just being picky, but I would have given like a 3-year, $36 million deal, so that if I do the math, that equals $12 million deal. So I really like the contract. So will this affect the cap for the Buffalo Bills next season or just this season?
So the specifics haven't been released, but this year his cap hit was close to about $5.5 million. Normally, when you give him an extension this long, rather than 3 and 4, I'm almost assuming that his base salary more than likely ended up getting transferred to around $1.2 million. His cap hit will probably be about the same. And I wouldn't even be shocked if there was a void year attached to it as well toward the end of said like maturation. $30 million guaranteed really speaks to me, because I have a funny feeling that when the extension technically starts next year, I have a feeling those 2 years are going to be the fully guaranteed years, which would look like $15 million a year to James Cook. And then he ultimately would be able, and the Buffalo Bills would be able to walk away right after that second year of said extension. So it's really a win-win on both sides. I'm just talking out of my ass right here, but that's what I'm getting out of it. We will wait for the actual contract specifics once they are released.
Interesting. And I'm just I'm pulling up like overthecap.com right now, and granted I don't see like the updated like contracts for both James Cook or Kyren Williams, but when I look up the 3013 post, they gave like a ranking of like who are the current highest paid backs, and James Cook is tied with Josh Jacobs right now. So I feel like James Cook, after his incredible performance on the ground, I feel like he deserved that deal. What I'm curious about is what 2026 offseason is going to look like with the running backs, because Robinson's going to be on his final year of his rookie contract. Gibbs is going to be on his final year of his contract, and A-Chain's going to be in his final year of his contract. I will laugh to my grade if Devon A-Chain craps the bed this season and the Dolphins give him the most stupidest contract above James Cook. I will laugh to my grave, because last year when we gave Ramondre Stevenson the contract, I felt like people think like it was an overpay considering of his lack of performance. But with A-Chain, I will laugh if Dolphins give him the most stupidest contract, because I feel like Devon A-Chain is worth what Ramondre Stevenson is worth now, and which is a 4-year, $36 million deal.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the comparisons, right? So we have value. We have James Cook is tied with Josh Jacobs, but that's not particularly what I look at. You have average salary, which again, I absolutely hate, as many of you know. But for those of you that are sticklers on average annual value, we are seeing James Cook, and he is below all of the names that everybody was so against into paying him close to. He's significantly below Saquon. He's significantly below so McCaffrey. Same thing with Derrick Henry, and even Jonathan Taylor. Followed by with the Alvin Kamara, and then he is tied with Josh Jacobs as far as that. With guaranteed at signing, let's go ahead and find our good friend James Cook. It hasn't updated as of yet. The practical guarantees, we have James Cook at 30. And you have a first-round rookie in Ashton Genty, who was drafted in the first round, getting more money than him as well. So I think that just continues to point that running back contracts are peanuts in the grand scheme of things when it comes into positional contracts. Absolute peanuts.
Exactly. Like I can still remember that whole 2023 running back boycott situation where running backs were being like underpaid. But that's just because the media will definitely talk about like the big boy positions like wide receiver, cornerback, heck, even quarterback. So I'm technically not surprised. I just feel like after hearing the whole Barkley, Henry, and even the CMC contracts, I feel like that running backs need to have the certain respect that these other like the big boy positions are getting.
Yeah, for sure, man. This is some big news. Some big news indeed. DTN, I appreciate you tuning in, my friend.
Actually, one final question before I let the next caller in. So now that James Cook has his contract, do you think that Joe Brady or Sean McDermott will give him like snaps for the next preseason game and potentially the final preseason game, or we just have to wait and see?
I'd probably lean against it, especially since they just ended up making such a significant investment. I think they'll probably go on ahead and just rest them until week 1 and put them on ice, like maybe like a snap or two. Not even week 2, but maybe week 3 of the preseason. But like when you have that significant of an investment, I have a feeling we'll probably wait up until like week 1, because it's not like that guy is not familiar with what Buffalo likes to run. It's the exact same offensive line. It's the exact same like coordinator. So I have a feeling we'll probably put him on ice.
Okay, that's cool. But
yeah, hell yeah, man.
I'm excited for tonight's AFC East round table show potentially, and definitely discuss about this topic.
It's gonna be a hell of an evening. I cannot wait for all the callers, see what they have to say about it. And DTN, as always, I appreciate you calling in and showing a little bit of love, man.
No problem, man. Well, time for me to take a nap because I'm working tonight.
See you, brother. Take care. Shout out to DTN, man. Patriots fan that comes in, shows a little bit of love. Jay is in the building from Long Island. Step into the garage, my friend. What's going on?
Yo, Dan, good morning. How you doing? Let's make this quick because I got work in like 3 minutes, unfortunately. But let me just say this right now, unsplicit. Let's effing go. Thank God the Buffalo Bills did not bend the knee and cave in. They did not give Saquon Barkley money to James Cook. I'm so hyped right now. One of the more focal points of our offense. I'm just so hyped right now. I can't believe that work in 3 minutes. I would have had a long discussion with you. But let's just keep it plain simple. I'm excited now about the Buffalo Bills. They're the right thing. Shout out to Brandon Beane in the front office, and shout out to Sean McDermott as well. And I'm sure Josh Allen is a happy man right now today. I'm telling you, he's a very happy man.
Shout out to Beane, man. He continues to surprise me each and every single offseason when we see a laundry list of pending free agents, of guys that are due a contract extension. And we always try to convince ourselves that we're going to have to make some difficult decisions and walk away from one or two. But as always, Beane delivers. All of our guys, our homegrown talent, are under contract and returning and here for the long run.
Of course.
That's something to go on ahead and celebrate. Jay, enjoy your day at work, man.
Thank you. I'm sorry I got work, but take care, Dan. See ya.
Yeah, man, no problem. Shout out to my boy Jay from Long Island. The Garage Beer Hotline is popping right now, ladies and gentlemen. 252 of you on YouTube rocking with me right now. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up sign. If there is 250 of you in YouTube right now, I'm expecting 250 like buttons hit, man. Let's continue. Pump this live stream through the damn air. Six Rings is in the building. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. A few things. Just going to work. I'm at the dialysis unit today. So it's good. Be happy. So be happy when you wake up, because people, even young people, are going through shit in life, So be thankful when you wake up,
Yeah.
I saw a girl, I think she's 21, and she has to go on dialysis for it. So it's sad,
Yeah.
And yeah, my VPN thing. Yeah. And for all you Bills fans or whoever's listening to your chat, they can go do the days in, right? But they can get a VPN.
Yeah.
And hook it up. So they're paying $25 a month rather than paying I don't get why the NFL does that. All the other streams, you pay $15, you get all the games, like NBA, NHL.
Folks, we
It's
have a
a robbery.
workaround here. VPN and Day Zone if you want to watch a little football this
It's
year for our boy
robbery,
Six Rings.
it's robbery. $1,000. Did you say that yesterday that you pay close to $1,000?
So between everything, yeah,
That's a lot.
it is.
When you can
It
just
is.
get days in and pay 25 Canadian a month.
25 Canadian a month for Days, and ladies and gentlemen, VPN that bad boy.
Yeah. But my main thing is I'm happy you guys paid Cook.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns? What's his average though the last few years? Was he always good? How did he do last year?
So last year was his big season when it came into touchdowns, right?
Right.
It was
No, I meant
it was
the year
20.
before.
So year before, he only found the end zone 6 times, I think, and then maybe a couple right in the receiving game. His yards were actually more in 2023. His yards were less on the ground in 2024, but he really ended up stepping up in the touchdown department in 2024.
Hey, he's got to step up now, He got his money.
Oh, yeah.
Like the old
he
rule
needs
goes,
to.
with great power comes responsibility, right?
And that's exactly what I'm
now
talking
there's
about.
nothing short of a Super Bowl for the Bills. You sign your players, your quarterback's in his prime, your defense is. There's nothing short of a Super Bowl now.
Dude,
It's
you know
like
what?
Super
That is
Bowl or bust now.
regularly the
20
expectation.
touchdowns again. I'm expecting a big year. Now you got your money. Now you deliver.
Well, that is the regular expectation for this Buffalo Bills team each and every single year.
Nothing short of a Super Bowl. You guys have your lineup. Your offensive line is good. Your schedule's not bad behind the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing short of a Super Bowl. The Chiefs aren't the regular Chiefs. Everything's aligning for you guys this year.
Dude, it's true. Listen, so I try to tell these people, as long as we can stay healthy, we have the easy enough schedule. And when you look at all of the competition in the AFC, all of their schedules are considerably harder. All of their divisions are considerably harder. If Buffalo does not get the 1 seed this year, then I am going to be very disappointed because
our schedule's pretty easy. Our schedule's good.
And so I really think that the league has gifted us the perfect path to the 1 seed this year in the playoffs.
And they gifted us the perfect path to the wild card.
Look at that, man. Shout out to my boy Six Rings.
All right, I'll see you. I got to go get ready for work too.
And so you enjoy work today, man. Thank you so much. He's in the medical field, man. He's out there saving lives. We appreciate that guy. We appreciate that guy indeed. Liam, step into the garage, man. What's going on? How you doing?
Good. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. We wake up this morning. We see an update on our RB1 on James Cook. He's extended. Sounds like he's nowhere near Saquon Barkley money as far as average salary, which I knew was really important to a lot of people. So I feel like it's a win-win. What are your thoughts on it?
Right. And I feel you. I wake up, check Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, oh, this is fake. It's another Adam Schefter or whatever account.
Oh,
and,
yeah, with the one.
Right. And then I look more into it, and there's a bunch of accounts. I'm like, holy shit, this is real. And I didn't I'm a little bit split on it because I wouldn't have minded if he had left in this following year, because I think we have 2 good backs in Davis and Ty Johnson. And I think that was clear last year. So now I don't know how things are gonna play out this year. Like, is Joe Brady gonna feel extra pressure to play him? And honestly, I'm hoping that because I think Cook had a lot of touchdowns, but I need to see more yards out of him.
Yeah,
I just do. And I know we didn't get as many carries and snap percentage, but I just think he needs to be better. And honestly,
it's fair take.
There's just been little things. You've seen some bad drops out of him. When we lost the Chiefs in that Tyler Bass game, he had a drop touchdown. That one hurt. I think we scored a touchdown anyway, but I mean, just those little things I need to see him improve, and hopefully he can have a quote unquote breakout season, because after getting paid this well, I need to see more of it.
Yeah. So I think that he has that peace of mind knowing that he's locked up with the Buffalo Bills for the foreseeable future. And I feel like that's always the worry, right? Like you see a player that ends up getting his bag, and really all I could think about is Marcel Darius. And so who remembers the Marcel Darius contract a long ass time ago, man? We thought that guy was about to be the next big thing. We paid him an absurd amount of money, and he was just never the same afterwards. I'm not particularly getting that from James Cook. I don't think that this is the kind of team that's going to look at the contract he just received and they're going to be like, okay, no matter what, we need to feed James Cook. I don't think that that's how we should go about it. Don't fix what's not broken. I'm still fine with him getting at about 50% of the snap share. But I would agree with you, you know, like I would like to see a 1,200, 1,300 so yards on the ground type performance from him. I would also love to see a 400 to 500 rate in the receiving side of things. I'm curious, though, because I'm still pretty convinced of last year, and there's no way of ever proving this, and we'll never know, and it's all speculation, but I really believe that James would not have had as many touchdowns as he did last year if we didn't have a quarterback with a broken hand for the first half of the season rate of last year. But I mean, now it's time for him to earn it, right?
You think Allen would have had more of a red zone threat? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really thought about that, but
yeah, most definitely. And don't get me wrong, like when we needed James Cook to step up, he stepped up. Yeah. And like, I'm not particularly convinced that we would have been as good as we were last year because that whole Josh with a broken hand was like a real thing. Like that was a big issue. And like, you could like just tell by watching his tape from the beginning of the season, especially him like going through that broken hand situation, he was nowhere near as physical as he was.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
he was playing with him broken hand and like we had to rely on James Cook for that. So I don't know. Like now that Josh is getting closer to 30, I'm completely fine with him taking a step back from being that guy that is always a key piece right into our ground game. And we can shift that responsibility over to James Cook right now. But I mean, look, sort of how I look at it, he's nowhere near that AAV that everyone was worried that he would be at. He gets $30 million fully guaranteed, which in my opinion, based off of the specifics of this contract that are about to come out, I think that we're going to have an out on his contract in 3 years from now. So I think it's a win-win right across the board. But I do agree with you. I got to see the same thing as last year from James Cook in order for me to really feel good about it.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, I think that I think I would be fine if he had last year what he had this year, because like you said, that probably means Allen would have more rushing touchdowns. But honestly, what I want to see out of this year is I want to see the receiving game step up, specifically Keon Coleman. And what I've heard out of camp is he's been really good, and that Josh has been speaking well about him. But I mean, you know, hopefully he can step up, and maybe I don't know when he has a contract, maybe 2 years from now when he's up for an extension.
He was a second round pick. So he was a second round pick. He's going into year 2.
So he doesn't have a fifth year. Right.
Yeah. He's not going to have a fifth year on that since he was a second rounder. We probably wouldn't even have a conversation with him, not until this offseason, but the following. So the following at the conclusion of his third season, I think that's when that's going to be a part of the conversation. And that's, of course, if he ends up earning it. I suppose he has been looking pretty good right in training camp. I mean, we really didn't get to see a lot of him in preseason week 1. But it does sound like Josh is really making it a top priority to establish, like, you know, some of that year 2 chemistry with him. I mean, let's hope, right? Like, he's a big body guy. He has good hands for the most part. I mean, hopefully he'll be able to be a larger piece right to this offense going into this season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I want to see more out of Kincaid, obviously.
Yep.
Just including Knox as well. I mean, I just get into some heavy packages and include some play action, maybe, you know.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Listen, you know what? It's hard to expect more from a team that scored the most points out of all the NFL on a per game average, but damn, trust me, Buffalo Bills fans are expecting more.
That's maybe offensively. I just worry about the defense.
Offensively, but for me, all I want to see is us to get to about middle of the pack when it comes into third down defense, and I am a happy guy.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Knowing the Bills, it's going to be another year of agonizing third and longs. And I know people were like in the preseason game, they're like, "Oh my God, screen passes." I'm like, dude, we're not. Yeah, like, I take that with a grain of salt because I don't think we were particular. I think Babbage is just waiting for the regular season to pull out whatever. So
my buddy Kevin was saying that Brian Dable was running a regular season offense because he was trying to get some sort of praise from the New York media, like with like a new what's it called stuff. So I wouldn't read too much into that. But for the love of God, can we stop some third and longs? We will see. But hey, dude, Liam, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thank you so much.
Hey, have a good one, Dan. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, you the man. Liam, latest guy in the garage. Let's go ahead and welcome in our next caller. Charles, the Hammer, is in the building. Charles, how you doing this fine Wednesday morning?
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, man, loud and clear. How you doing?
Okay, I want to say I'm a little bit disappointed in you today, Dan.
Why?
When I heard that James Cook, when I woke up this morning, I heard that James Cook signed this new extension. I'm like, what was Dan doing sleeping? You're supposed to be awake 24 hours.
You're right.
This news. I'm like, what were you doing sleeping? That's the first thing I thought about this morning.
Charles, you are absolutely right. But one thing I will tell you, I was up. So normally I wake up at 4:30 in the morning and I go to the gym. I cut my lift early and I ended up speeding home from the gym to get back as early as I possibly could. I was disappointed in myself as well, Charles. But I'm here and I'm ready to talk a little James Cook contract.
Now, I want to say two things real quick. First of all, I love this contract only because let's get rid of the drama. Let's start playing football now.
Exactly.
And I want to ask you a question. With James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, Reggie Gillian, and Frank Gore Jr., do you think we have probably one of the best running back groups in the NFL? Because besides Shaquan Barkley, I don't know who his backup is. I don't know who Derrick Henry's backup is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you think we have one of the best running back groups in the NFL right now?
So for a running back by committee, I really think that there is a case for that because we literally have some of the best collection of running backs that do their specific responsibility very well. So you have James Cook, super shifty, like has the speed. He's definitely a threat, like when it comes into the receiving game. And quite frankly, all of them are threats in the receiving game. And that's including Ray Davis and same thing with Ty Johnson. As far as versatility, it's a match made in heaven between them and the offensive line. So I really think that Bills fans have been patient to where we finally have this running back attack. But yeah, most definitely, I think that we could make an argument. It's probably Detroit as well is probably up there with Montgomery and Gibbs. But it's definitely up there. I would not be upset if somebody put that right into the conversation.
Now, I want to say something real quick to you because we talked before. You asked me how I became a Bills fan. I told you about that. But I didn't tell you this. Since 1976, I've only watched the Buffalo Bills. I've only seen 4 Super Bowls in my life, and those were the 4 that Buffalo was in. If Buffalo plays a 1 o'clock game, I have never watched a 4 o'clock game or a Monday Night Football game. In fact, I will tell you this right now. Since 1976, I have never watched a basketball game, a baseball game, or a soccer game ever. I've heard of Michael Jordan. I've heard of Kobe Bryant and all these other guys, Derek Jeter. I have never seen these guys. Since 1976, I've only watched the Buffalo Bills and only the Buffalo Bills.
I like
if the season ends and they don't go to the playoffs, I have never watched a playoff game or a Super Bowl since 1976. I've just watched the Buffalo Bills, and that's it. I have never watched any sports, not even on TV. I've never watched a baseball game. That's nothing.
That's a real fan right there, Charles.
Yes.
That's
and I want to say one more thing because I want to say one more thing because I know you have other people to talk to.
Yeah.
You do know that Josh Allen is 1 rushing touchdown away from being an all-time rushing touchdown leader of the Buffalo Bills. He's tied with Thurman Thomas right now.
I have heard that.
Here's my thing. If he gets a rushing touchdown, which he is, do you think that the mayor of Buffalo or the governor of New York is going to make that Josh Allen day? Because At no time in history has a quarterback been the rushing touchdown leader of an NFL football team. At no time ever.
Yeah. So
So
to be
if
honest
Josh
with you,
Allen
man,
is one,
I'm kind of surprised that there isn't a Josh Allen day already.
but
Look,
that day has to be coming though.
Yeah. That, or maybe we even save it for the day that he wins us the Lombardi. Perhaps that
But
could be a good day for it too.
Imagine if he becomes the rushing touchdown leader and we end up winning the Super Bowl. You have to make it a Josh Allen day.
Have to, especially in the final year of our stadium where all the history
Yes.
was to begin with. My God, it's storybook, and Hollywood is listening. Take advantage of it.
There's too
Charles,
many stars aligning for this.
that's what I'm saying. Charles, I sincerely appreciate you, man. And your sports
Thank you.
world.
Appreciate you too.
Yeah, for sure. Your sports world is going to be locked in here in just a couple of weeks as the regular season Buffalo Bills. That's awesome, man. Somebody that literally is just such a diehard fan of the Buffalo Bills that nothing really tickles his fancy as much as watching his favorite team play. No baseball, no basketball, no NFL playoffs at all, unless Buffalo is representing, man. That's awesome. That is awesome, man. I can tell you that much. I think we lose one or two of Kincaid, McGovern, or Torrance. Can't pay everyone. So I got to tell you what, man. I tell myself that each and every single offseason, and then I continue to be proven wrong each and every single time. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm not even particularly thinking or accepting the fact that that could be a reality. As far as Kincaid, man, he was a first rounder, so he's going to ultimately have a 5th-year option. So say, for example, that he can go into year 3 and he can actually play very well. I could potentially see him going year 4 once again, and then maybe we start having conversations at the conclusion of week 4 for an extension, say that he proves that he can be a threat, can be a big piece that needs to be extended. And worst case scenario, just going ahead and use that 5th-year option right on him as well. So he's going to be a little bit, but so with McGovern and Torrance as well is also an interesting piece. I don't know. It's tough for me to find a way, or it's tough for me to have the justification of moving away and breaking apart one of the most dominant offensive lines in all of football. I think that's kind of where we're at. Would watching the OJ trial count? Oh no. Not if they take team-friendly deals like Greg and Shakir did. Cybo is my favorite to be signed. Osiris, baby. Carly is coming in. I think we could make moves to sign some of those guys. Look, it's each and every single offseason. I look at a list of players that are due a contract extension, and I always tell myself, and I also tell you guys, I'm like, guys, listen, there's no way that we can afford all these guys, right? It's just not in the books. Like, we have no money. And somehow Brandon Beane figures it out. I'm really curious to see what the specifics of this James Cook contract looks like. But of course, here we are. Guys, listen. So I got to ask you, if you were a fantasy football person, okay, I got to show you probably one of my favorite draft tools on the market. If you are serious about winning your fantasy football league this year, look no further than our boys over at RotoWire, right? I have an interesting history in fantasy football where the first couple of seasons with my friends league, I was champion. Back to back, baby. Talk about the New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs dynasty type thing. But then for the past couple of seasons, I have struggled tremendously. I hit the injury bug. But let me tell you what I did. I ultimately ended up buying this product, RotoWire, and I have been mock drafting like an absolute fiend, and I promise you I have an advantage over my friends this year. What RotoWire allows you to do is that you can go on ahead and make your own customized draft strategy. Of course, depending on what team you are selecting or what place you are selecting at. I'm not sure about you guys, but me and my buddies typically do a combine to determine where the draft order is each and every single year. And we are playing PPR. So I knew going into my draft strategy that I really needed to pick something that was indeed something that could stand out, something that could set me aside from the crowd. What RotoWire asks you to do: how do you feel about taking risks in your draft? I'm like, you know what? Aim for upside on this bad boy. And what I'll do is I will keep it balanced in the middle rounds and balanced in the late rounds. And then as far as comfortable reaching for a player I really like, I want my guys in the early rounds. Why? Because I know ball. Okay. Middle, I'll probably say, you know what, we can keep it balanced. And then late rounds, I want to go on ahead and keep it to stick to ADP, right? Maybe that's the case. But here is what's important to me, because each and every single year I have gotten hit with the injury bug and I'm getting sick of it. So what I'm going to do with my draft plan is I am going to put injury risk as my number 2 priority when this ultimately ends up advising me on who to pick at each and every single round. I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to add players that I need to have, players that I would like to avoid. I'm going to finish my draft plan, and it automatically puts you into a mock draft. Soon as when this loads up, as you can see, Saquon Barkley goes first overall. I can't believe Saquon went over to Chase, but here we are. Bijan Robinson, CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka. And now I have options here. I think Justin Jefferson is my only option. But anyway, you continue to scroll down and it tells you everything that you need to know about your fantasy draft. Say, for example, that you're really locked in on one specific player that you want to get in the 3rd round, but it's your turn in the 2nd right now. And you see, oh my God, I was really hoping I can get Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd, but there's a 77% chance that he's going to be gone by that time. So should I make the risk? And should I reach for him now to make sure that my DNA and my fantasy football team is here? I love this thing. You can attach it to your own fantasy football league, whatever app you use. It's going to be holding your hand during your draft. I'm going to win my draft because of this, and I know that you can win your draft because of this. Check it out, folks. Link is in description. Use my code DAN, D-A-N, for 15% off. And thank me later in December when you end up coming home with the gold or the trophy or the belt or whatever you fools use for your fantasy football bragging rights. Shout out to RotoWire for being a partner, proud partner of this show. Okay, Connor McGovern has really worked out for us. I see us keeping him for sure, right? Especially since Cedric Van Pran Granger has missed now most of 2 training camps in his first 2 years. That's less than ideal. This dude ultimately ends up having a calf injury that we have no specifics on at all. Like, he was at least perceivably going to be the replacement for McGovern if McGovern didn't work out. So I think that the priority of bringing McGovern back is all that much more important. So I think that's kind of where we're at here. Curious what the projected cap hit would be with $30 million fully guaranteed. So more than likely how it's going to be with $30 million fully guaranteed. You just need to divide that number by 4, right? Or actually 5, because it does go on to this year. So the 4-year extension does not start until the following year. And then more than likely his base salary is going to be at around $1.2 million. So let me see. It's probably going to be about the same. So of where it's at already. So that's ideal, right? Do you think we will get a Steve Tasker hype video soon? I'm looking forward to him saying it's about to get chilly. Man, hopefully soon. It's coming. It's coming. Hey, Dan, being a former champion and a man who knows ball, who are your top 5 fantasy football players this year? Thank you so much for the recognition, my friend. We do not talk about my prowess in fantasy football enough on this channel. Okay, so my top 5 fantasy players, of course, it depends on where you're selecting in the draft. But number 1 for me, especially on an ADP list, hands down, bar none, is Jamar Chase. Surprisingly enough, I'm going to be picking Gibbs as number 2 for me. I love Saquon Barkley. What he did last year was absolutely incredible. But one thing I can tell you, we all forgot that he is a very injury-prone player. I don't want to risk that. I really don't want to risk that. I'm hoping for the best. I'm knocking on wood because I would never wish an injury on anybody. But Saquon Barkley's injury history was all but forgotten based off of last year. I really hope that's not the case. But me, I am staying away from that with a 10-foot pole. So give me Gibbs number 2. Number 3, I'd probably end up going Bijan Robinson. He's probably number 3 for me. Number 4, I'd probably have Justin Jefferson as ADP. And then number 5... the next one that's really standing out to me. Probably go Amon-Ra St. Brown as far as consistency. As far as some sleepers, man, sleepers are interesting. Sleepers are interesting for me. Wait up for some sleepers. We could talk a little fantasy football another day. Pepe, you're the man. Thank you so much for the question. Dan, now with Cook locked in, linebacker is 100% going to be our target in the draft. Yeah, most definitely. I'm not even entirely convinced that running back was going to be a target, especially in the early rounds of the draft next year. Linebacker is probably going to be the first pick, that or an interior offensive lineman, because David Edwards is also a pending free agent next offseason. I don't really see a world where we would put him high on the priority list, like not unless we can get a really like team-friendly type deal. But next year in the draft, I'm pretty much accepting the fact that our first and second round pick is going to be either interior offensive line or linebacker, and those two are interchangeable. So that's kind of where I'm at, looking far into the future. And obviously, a lot can change from now until then. I think we re-sign Osiris, man, and use one of the developing offensive linemen as a center. Corey is in the building. I am so happy this happened, and we can focus on the season coming, right? And again, look, like I said, we are all convinced right now where it stands that somebody in the Hard Knocks production team is hands down a Bills fan, because they could have rolled us last night. They barely touched the James Cook contract extension, barely touched it. But for some reason, right? We wake up this morning and here he is. We wake up this morning and here he is. Ryan saying, Josh Allen, come on, Dad. What are we talking about, Ryan? What are we talking about? What do you think of Tua as number one pick for the draft? Oh, we have Josh Allen for my fantasy rankings. I don't go with quarterbacks early, right? Say that I were to get Josh Allen, I probably wouldn't go that high. Like, say that I had a top 5 pick. Say that I had the second to last pick in the first round, maybe I would go for Josh Allen, probably. But say that I had a top 5 pick, I'm probably not going to go with the quarterback. It's probably not the best move. But, I mean, hey, that's the beauty of fantasy football, man. No one knows what strategy is going to work. It's all it's all a game. It's all a game at the end of the day. You're live at the same time as Sal Capaccio is live. So much Bills content. Who do we pick? Corey, whoever you damn well please, man. That is the wonderful world that we live in right now. That is the wonderful world that we live in right now, where you have so many options of Bills content. Whatever you'd like, my friend. I bet that Hard Knocks guy got a word in their ear that the deal was nearly done. We'll see. Question. In a 10-year span, how many years would you beat TD in fantasy football? 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I am convinced that TD Finstock has never played fantasy football. Based off of our conversation we had last week, I am convinced he's never played. Guy does not know the rule. He does not know the rule. Assert dominance. Pick Josh Allen at the 101. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. Isn't the director of Hard Knocks a Bills fan? So I don't think he would put anything negative about the Bills on Hard Knocks. I love it. I love it. When we go to the Super Bowl, do you think we will have a lot of the 90s Buffalo Bills there? Oh, yeah, for sure. So I'm talking about rolling out the damn red carpet. It's probably 90s Bills. It's probably even before that. Some legends are going to be there. It is going to be a movie. It's a game of luck. Alex has come in. Hey, Dan, I wouldn't sleep on wide receiver or safety in the draft as well. For sure. For sure, man. It's way too early. But as far as needs now, say that the draft were next week, I'd probably say needs for me would be linebacker / interior offensive line. But you are absolutely correct. Wide receiver and safety is likely also going to be something on our list. KJ Hamler fan base is going to grow from the episode. He was absolutely hilarious. He is, man, and I'm rooting for that guy. I am rooting for the short king, dude. You know what I mean? He's hysterical. He's really, really good. It's just tough for me to find a place for him on this team, right? It's just way too much competition. And unfortunately, that is one of the downsides of being a good organization, is having some really good personalities, some good ball players that could potentially start anywhere else. But unfortunately, our team's just too stacked. Dan, I don't take a quarterback till around 4 or 5 round in a 10 or 12-man league. You and I are probably around the same right there, my friend. Sydney Sweeney said she wants the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. Go Bills. I have to confirm that, but that is awesome. That is awesome. So I can tell you that the Gooners are very excited about that. Tyler, and do you think Cook contract info didn't come out yesterday so Hard Knocks wasn't ruined? I'm not sure, Tyler. So I'm not sure. I don't particularly think that they had much of a say in it. Maybe for theatrics. Maybe Zach had a conversation with Hard Knocks. I'm not particularly sure, but we'll see. Kendrick has come in. TD plays fantasy football. His team name is the Delusional Dolphin Fan. For sure. For sure, man. That's what I'm talking about. We have Kendrick Lamar in the building. We have Rambam77 is liking that take. I'll tell you that much. Hold up. Bear with me, folks. So I got to tell you what. So I love my truck. Love my truck more than anything. I love my damn truck, man. But it is funny. As soon as when you get a truck, man, my God, favors just come in. Hey, man, you mind helping me move something? Hey, man, you mind helping me load something up? You know what I mean? I love my truck. I love my people. I'm happy to help my people, but I do find it to be very funny. Let me see. All right, bang, bang. Zay is coming on in. I love Cook and re-sign him in Madden because I can make him an X factor, but I think that this was a waste of cap space because it's like he's peaked. Hope I'm wrong. Zay Dream is coming on in. So I wouldn't particularly say that, man. Like, it sounds like we actually ended up walking away with a pretty good deal as far as average annual value. And I'm not saying that that's something that I put a lot of importance to because I typically don't, but I do know that that was important to a lot of you. So he's not particularly as high paid as Saquon Barkley, as McCaffrey. He's definitely not going to be as high of a paid. So once Gibbs and Bijan Robinson get their contract toward the end of the season either. So I think that's something to be excited about. But we'll see. Good day from Australia. I think the Cook contract is slightly too much, but we are all just glad it is over. LFG, Forest Hill. Hey, look, like I said, I understand that this is going to be polarizing. Look at that, folks. No more headaches, no more drama. I think all of us could be excited about this. How about my boy Tommy has come in? Dan, I honestly didn't see them signing Cook this season, but Beane got it done, and the deal is fair for both. Go Bills. Yeah, dude, listen, I look at this contract, right? And I see something that is beneficial to the Bills, and I see something that's beneficial to James Cook. Number one, that number $30 million guaranteed. While we haven't seen the specifics of the contract, I can almost guarantee you that means that the first 2 years of the deal are the fully guaranteed years. And following the 2-year contract, following the end of the contract, I have a feeling that we have an out on the contract. So that means that he basically got his $15 million a year, perceivably at least. And Buffalo could potentially walk away as an insurance policy. Say, for example, we were to see any sign of regression. So that right there is a win for the Bills, and that $30 million guaranteed is, of course, a win for James Cook. And perhaps we could walk away, and then he would still have maybe a little bit left in him to get another contract after the fact. So that's ideal. We did it, Dan. This is it. 4 straight Super Bowls. Go Bills Mafia. James is the second best player on the offense. Hot take. October King. So, Dan, now that Cook is signed, do you think Connor McGovern will get extended before the start of the season? It's tough to say, man. It's really, really tough to say. Bear with me. Hope Cook goes to 20 TDs this year, leaving no room for the naysayers. Are you surprised we've heard Mr. Brightside and Hope on Hard Knocks before the shout song? So I feel like Mr. Brightside is just a bit more, so it's a bit more trendy. So especially for television, I am surprised. I kind of wish that they would have put it out into the ether, but here we are. Guys, 510 people are in the chat right now. 262 of you are on YouTube. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign. It is time for a celebration. The Buffalo Bills have signed James Cook. The drama is over. I think all of us can agree. Let's see what the internet has to say about this. And while I do that and I pull some things up, we haven't gotten a roll call in the chat in a while. Do me a favor, roll call. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I got to stock up on my sparkling water, some Topo Chico, and then also some black coffee in my Fourth and Forever mug. I will be right back, folks. Roll call in the chat. Don't be shy. Lurkers included. Lurkers included. Do not be shy. Don't lurk for 3 seconds and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll be right back. Damn, baby. We're back. We're back, baby. We are back. All right, let's see. Where exactly is everybody located? Let's see. We have Ontario, Canada is in the building. Elmwood Village, Lubbock, Texas. As always, Connecticut is in the building. From Kentucky, Darth, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. We have Boston, Massachusetts in the building. South Buffalo, Las Vegas, go cheap. Virginia Tech and Kentucky in the house. Bob is wondering when his contract is going to get extended. He already got a contract extension. As many of you know, he was holding out at the beginning of the season, but we ended up agreeing to terms. He's still getting these hands, though. He is indeed the highest paid guy you could find. Right within the dummy market. And one thing I have to say about Bob, and one thing I think that is actually solid, he has such a great deal. As somebody pointed out in the chat a couple of days ago, most Bobs are in a MMA gym. He's getting beat down every hour of the damn day from a variety of hands. Bob only gets these hands when I get frustrated at my Buffalo Bills. So I think that Bob is spoiled when it comes into contracts. I think I kind of overpaid him, but it is, of course, what it is. Texas is in the building, on vacation in New York, Grand Island at Big Bros for the last month. Richard Forbes, what's going on, man? Bob is giving you the evil, Dan. Bob. There you go. Yeah, Dan, I'm from Buffalo. That's my guy. Okay. Bills Mafia Belgium is present again. Congratulations to the Buffalo Bills with signing Cook. But hat needs to change to stop those third and down from our opponents. Third down defense is huge, my friend. It's massive. It is the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing that has been plaguing this team for quite some time. I would have to agree with you. Hey, Bob could easily be eating my feet, shins, and elbows. He got it easy. Absolutely. Most Bobs are sitting in an MMA gym. Okay. So like he literally lives the life. In fact, I think his agent's just crazy. And there was never a case of not wanting to extend him. Just sometimes these things are hard. Okay.
Our motto here, we want to draft and develop and re-sign. And I think it was roughly 11 o'clock or so last night where we were able to say both sides are good with this and we'll get it signed in the morning. This is another draft pick that we're proud of and excited to extend. And we've been through things in the past, things that happened, distractions. But I think the core of this team, knew what this was about and that everyone was level-headed. And yes, James was not on the practice field, but he was at walkthroughs. He was in meetings. He wasn't just there physically, like he was engaged in those things and engaged with his teammates. There was never a case of not wanting to extend him. It's just, sometimes these things are hard and trying to get on the same page of what we could make work and, what they felt, would make them happy on their end.
Well, that's Brandon Beane right there, folks. Here, let's see what else we got here. Let me see. Bills GM Brandon Beane spoke to the media today, right about James Cook's new contract extension. Here's the entire presser of your enjoyment. Please don't be so simple. Do better. So the Bills use Cook as part of a rotation. He's been very good. So we got this guy on Twitter. First off, I have beef with people that say do better, like right on the internet. I guarantee you that guy's hiding like 5 DUIs. All right. Do better. Who the hell made you the arbiter of what is right in this world, fool? Don't tell me what to do better, Mr. Dog profile picture. Okay? Why are you hiding your face? What kind of skeletons do you have in your closet to tell me in your ivory tower of morality to do better? Give me a break, fool. Give me a break. I don't know why that triggers me so much, but it just does. Anyway, Eric is coming in. Greensboro, North Carolina, repping Bills Mafia. We getting the Lombardi this year. Absolutely. Very happy with the Cook deal. Didn't overpay, and we have him locked for the majority of his career. Let's go. I am glad we got Cook locked for 4 years. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We have Eric. I think safeties are too deep on third downs, and we have less players concerned with stopping the screen. We need to stop the screen, for the love of God. Anyway, let's continue. Bills GM spoke to the media today about James Cook's new contract extension. Here's the entire presser. 14 minutes. I'm not sure if we have time to listen to all of that, but here we are. Look at that, dude. Is this AI? Is this AI? It's got to be AI. I love your show. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. Hope all is well. Hope all is well, man. I appreciate that. James Cook contract extension. Here you go, brother. Here you go. I feel like everyone's thrilled about this. Beane talking to James Cook extension today. He's emphasizing how the Bills look to draft, develop, and re-sign their own. I think this is interesting.
We unfortunately never want to hold in or hold out or any of that stuff. You want it all, but at the end of the day, you guys know our motto here. We want to draft and develop and re-sign, and that starts with Terry Pagula giving us. I mean, you guys know all the money we've doled out this offseason, and this is another draft pick that we're proud of and excited to extend. And fortunately, late last night, we got it across the finish line. Unfortunately.
Shout out Jimbo, man. Shout out Jimbo. You know what? I'm always curious to hear what people have to say, like right in the mentions of specific teams. So let's see what people are saying. Why you rewarded a tantrum shaking my head. So Melissa is obviously very upset. About time, TB ego. Perfect. Now big downs, keep him on the damn field and go Bills. Go get this thing. We have some bots that are trying to sell some shirts. Okay. Took way too long. Happy that both parties were able to come to an agreement. Cook's cooking up success. Go win a bowl now. Locking in Cook for 4 years is huge for Buffalo. Let him cook. Terry Pagula with the W right there. How much money? It seems like that there is a resounding celebration, at least based off of the couple of like replies that I have seen thus far. But still some big stuff, man. It's not AI. Cook is aura farming with the lyrics from the meme and everything. That's it. Okay, that's it. So we are not cutting. So we're not getting Cole Beasley back. Cole Beasley, man. What's Cole Beasley up to nowadays? I don't know. That's a question. All right, folks. So like I said, I need to go help out someone with my truck. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be live, obviously, later for Fourth and Forever, the daily NFL news show, which we will be unpacking this news ad nauseum over there, plus many other stories surrounding the NFL. But say, for example, that you want to lock in on this, guys, go subscribe to the Roundtable Sports channel. And so I'm sure many of you are already. This is where you will find all of these episodes. It is Fourth and Forever. It's our daily NFL news show where we just talk ball, everything that's happening across the league. So highly recommend you go check that out as well. Fourth and Forever. It's live Monday through Friday at 1:30 p.m. EST. I hope to see each and every single one of you over there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. Deuces.